And you're listening to A Daily Dose of Hope, healthy stuff so you can keep on trucking with Hope Savara and Chrome and Steel Radio. Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Hope Savara here with A Daily Dose of Hope. I hope that you are having a great day. That is a lot of hope in one phrase, but welcome, welcome, welcome. Drop it in the comment section if you're on Facebook and YouTube. Where are you tuning in from? Where are you from? Where are you right now? My truck drivers, where are you going to? Where are you coming from? What state line are you about to cross? I want to know. Welcome. Today's episode is going to be extremely educating. So if you are ready for some new knowledge in your brain, drop a 1 in the comment section if you're listening on Facebook or YouTube. I am excited about today's guest because she is a dear friend of mine. She has now wised up and moved out of Wisconsin because it is so cold and now lives in southern Utah. Her name is Karen Urbanek, and she probably is one of the smartest humans I have ever met on the face of the planet when it becomes, when you think about cell health. So health on a cellular level, feeding your cells, eating healthy, nutrition, you name it. I have learned so much from her that I just get so excited when we can get together. I always say she's the inside of the body and I'm the outside of the body, and together we are the package deal. So I'm super excited to have her on a little bit later in the show, and she's going to be talking about EMFs, electromagnetic frequency. And if you have never heard of this, drop some question marks in the comment section if you're tuning in on social media. And otherwise, you definitely want to stay tuned for the rest of this broadcast because you do not want to miss her knowledge. And if you think I talk fast, get ready because she talks even faster than I do. But it's such good knowledge, it's going to blow your mind. And in my truck drivers, you definitely need to listen to this. If you work in a building, if you're in schools, if you have a home, if you have a cell phone, you need to listen to what she has to say a little bit later in the show. But I wanted to take a few minutes today to talk a little bit about how to take care of ourselves while we're on the road. And since we're talking about EMFs later today, I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of distractions and what we can do to kind of help keep ourselves focused. So I read an article a while back and it was saying about how the average person like picks up their phone and looks at social media or text messages like 100 times in a day. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is crazy a lot. And I'm curious, how many times a day do you think you pick up and look at your cell phone? 25, 50, 10, 6, 87, 90, 200. Drop it in the comment section if you're tuning in on social media. I want to know, how many times do you think, be honest, that you pick up your phone and look at it? So I started to kind of watch myself and kind of be my own little person following myself around for a couple of days. And one of the things that I noticed in myself was that whenever there was like some idle downtime, whenever there was some like awkward, like I'm waiting or nothing is happening, I would, without even thinking about it, pick up my phone and look at it. No one called, there was no text message, no nothing, but I would pick it up and like have to look. And I recognized myself doing that over and over and over and over again. And I started to kind of get a little freaked out at myself. Partly because I was like, whoa, Hope, like what is going on? This has got to stop. What I started to begin to realize was that I was going down that channel, that path of like not being cool with just like chilling out and doing nothing. I mean, how many of you watch a movie or a TV show or are talking on the phone and also are looking at your phone, are scrolling social media, are checking email, are checking text messages? Are you really that important? I mean, that's kind of what I was saying to myself, like, seriously, Hope, like if someone really needs to get a hold of you, if there's that something that important, like how many more likes do you have on your post? Who cares? And I know you're probably laughing and probably saying that's not me, but I bet you on some level, you have been suffering from the same thing. And the reason why I bring this up today, and we're talking about EMFs later on, is because that darn phone or tablet or whatever it is is with you all the time, like this like weird growth or appendage. And think back, okay, when I was in high school, I didn't get a cell phone until I graduated high school. My parents wouldn't let me have one. And text messaging didn't happen until I was in college. I did go to college, believe it or not. I dropped out, but I did go. And realized very, very soon after that it wasn't for me. I had a statistics class that I thought, oh my gosh, this is like Latin or something. And I was out of there. Maybe you're good at statistics, not me. That's not my jam. Anyways, so I recognized this in myself, and I really had to take a step back. And then I started to notice it. Like normally I'm like, no stuff when my kids are around. Then I started doing that. It was like I was doing spelling words. And as my kid is writing his spelling words, I'm looking at my phone. I'm thinking, what the hell is wrong with you, Hope? Seriously, what is wrong with you? And I had to have a really big reality check with myself. And I'm being honest with you because I am not perfect. I preach and I try to practice what I preach. I try to live by what I believe in to the best of my ability, but we are all not perfect. Okay. Remember that. Nobody is perfect. And in that understanding, I humbled myself and realized that I needed to have a tune-up. Okay. I like the idea of tune-up sometimes more than change, because it's not that I was like going down this horrible path, or that I was like, wow, Hope, you really need a drastic change. I just needed a tune-up. I just needed my car to go into the mechanics and have it looked over. And maybe I need more windshield wiper fluid. Maybe my oil needs to be changed. Maybe my tires need to be rotated. I don't need a new engine. I don't need a whole new car frame. I don't need a spray paint on my car. I just need a couple little things fine-tuned in my life. And maybe that's you. Maybe that's you. So this is my reality check, realizing that I have to start being more adamant about detaching, not just mentally and emotionally. We talk about detaching from people and energy and things and all that yada, 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 which is really important. But I was talking about I need a major detachment from my phone. Okay, and it's like literally binging out there right now, and I'm not going to go get it. You guys are way more important. But what my challenge is, and what I want to tell you guys about, is challenge yourself for 24 hours. Can you leave your phone in the truck? When you go to the grocery store, can you leave your phone at home? When you are with your kids and you're doing something from 3 to 5 p.m. or 3 to 8 or whatever, I try to like stay out of work when my kids are home as much as I can, unless I have one day a week that's a designated work day after they get home from school, but it's just how my schedule's always been. So can you put the phone away for that amount of time? And if you're like, I challenge you why you feel that way. Okay, and be honest. And don't say it's impossible, because our ancestors, our parents, our grandparents, our cousins, our aunts, our uncles, all these people all managed without it for their entire life. And so what I was finding in doing that, okay, I have a history of anxiety, of depression, addiction, and so I always got to keep myself in check. Okay, I'm human. That's my reality, and I have to keep myself in check. Maybe you're the same way. And so when I started doing this a little bit more, I started noticing I kind of had anxiety. I was like, I want to check my phone. I want to scroll Instagram. I need to see my text messages, even though there was nothing on there relevant, because I was looking to fill that like downtime. And why is it that it's somehow not okay to do nothing? That nothing is something. And when we can sit and be okay with ourselves, when we can sit and have downtime and be calm, okay, meditation, dharana, dhyana, focus, concentration, that fosters greater growth in the areas that when you actually need to focus, when you actually need downtime, when you actually need to be like hyper aware, you are on point, okay? Multitasking. It is the disease where we never complete anything. We never do anything with the best of our ability. We never focus on one thing and carry it through, okay? So that's my challenge for you, okay? Can you step away from your phone? Can you step away from your computer? Can you step away from your tablet? You are not going to melt, I promise you, and notice what happens, okay? Don't get caught up in the immediate feeling, all right? because it might be overwhelming. Know that that will pass. Breathe, drink water, look at the sunrise, whatever you need to do. It's the aftermath. It's how you feel afterwards. I got to tell you, that was one of the best reality checks, tune-ups that I've done for myself in a long time. I am getting hold of my life again. I have more clarity. I'm not so anxious. I'm not so stressed. I'm completing tasks because I'm more hyper aware and hyper focused on what I'm doing right in front of me. When I'm talking to you guys right now, I'm talking to you. When I'm on the phone with my mom, I'm just talking to my mom. When I am emailing someone, I'm making sure that I covered everything. It's because I'm just doing my email. I'm not doing all this other stuff. Okay, let's make sure that we detach so that we can refocus. And this leads us right into our special guest today, Karen Urbanek from I2H2E, the International Institute of Holistic Health. She is the bomb. She's going to be talking to you and me about EMFs, electromagnetic frequency. What do you need to do? What do you need to know about it? How can you protect yourself? And why is this a problem? So we're going to have a message from Mother Trucker Yoga, and then Karen is going to be tuning in. If you don't know anything about Mother Trucker Yoga, so this is a company that myself and my partner created about a year ago, and this is for you truckers, okay? You don't have a lot of time, you don't have a lot of space, and you might not know what to do because your knees hurt, your back hurts, you have swollen ankles, you have carpal tunnel. What can you do to help yourself feel better? Well, I have a solution for you, Mother Trucker Yoga, where no matter where you are, you can feel better wherever. We're showing you easy, instant gratification stretches and moves that you can do to start to feel better and do your job to the best of your ability. Be a happy trucker, smile when you see someone passing you, and because you're rocking it, you're feeling like you can do your job again. And for companies that are out there listening, this is also a corporate gig. You can definitely get this for your employees, truck drivers. Tell your bosses about this, and you can find out more in the commercial coming up. And you can go to our website, mothertruckeryoga.com. Use the code DDH, again, that's DDH50, and you'll get 50% off your first month. Pretty good deal. All right, we will be back after this short break, and you will be meeting my dear friend, Karen Urbanek. All right, guys, we'll see you in a bit. I get it. Who has time to work out anymore? At mothertruckeryoga.com, we have easy 3 to 5 short-minute videos to help you feel better wherever. Visit us at mothertruckeryoga.com. All right, guys, welcome back. Hope Savar here with a daily dose of hope. I hope you guys are doing great. If you're just tuning in, I told you that my special guest this week is my dear friend, amazing woman, probably one of the smartest women I know when it comes to cells. She's going to rock your world because we're talking about EMFs today. And so, Karen, take it away. Who are you? What do you do besides being a rock star educator? We both are. Like, we're going to say that right away.
That's right. Well, number one, thank you for letting me join you. I love Hope, and I know anybody watching this feels the same way I do, and that she's just the biggest gem ever. So super glad I can put BFF after her name in my repertoire, anyhow. But, EMFs is a big thing. And this is awesome. Literally yesterday morning, I sent the 3rd and final edition of my book to the editors for the agent. And one of the biggest things I updated was the frequency chapter, because so much is coming forth. And this is so exciting because I always refer to it as all the people that drank out of lead cups and they killed their entire civilization. That's exactly what we're doing with EMFs. There isn't a cell in the body that's not negatively affected by the Wi-Fi, by your cell phone, your smart meter.
And for all of you people that are tuning in, Karen is a walking encyclopedia of knowledge, and she has been diligently working the last several years, and especially the last several months, to get you guys the education. So Karen not only has online courses that you can take that are just as good, if not better, than the live version, and she also has wrote a cookbook. So for all of my truck drivers and listeners that are trying to eat healthy and eat living things, she's the person to go to. But also she has written a book, and this is the 3rd edition, right? You said?
Yeah, it's the 3rd edition.
And it is all about taking your health back in your hands. And so if you are ready to be your own doctor, and I mean that in the most respectful way, but you're also ready to take your health back into your hands, like, this is the woman to listen to. So Karen, thank you for being here. And I want you to first just start out, like, what are EMFs? How do we come in contact with them? And like, why aren't people talking about them?
Well, an EMF was here at the very first dawn of anything created in our entire universe, because all an electromagnetic frequency is just that, an electromagnetic frequency. So if you think of the periodical table of elements, right? There's hydrogen and helium, lithium, beryllium, right? Well, each one of those is vibrating at a different frequency. So magnesium is Mg12, which means there's 12 electrons, where hydrogen has 1 electron. Helium has 2. When you mix different elements together, you get plastic, you get wood, you get whatever. I mean, so we are made of the elements of the earth. Your body, my body, Hope's amazing body, right? All of these people that are listening, all of your bodies are made from selenium and copper and zinc in the whole food form. So because our cells are electric, because of what we're made of, electricity, electricity is not hard. It's the movement of electrons. Right? Okay, that's not hard to understand. So everything is electric, and people are electric. And I could sit here for 4 more hours and talk about electricity and intertanglement and theories and quantum physics. But for the simplicity of it, everything's electric. Well, because everything's electric, everything we expose our bodies to can trigger a reaction in the body. So when we eat a molecular structure that also is electric, which everything is, so sprouts are going to make your body alter the cell context different than a bowl of Fruit Loops. Oh, those things are poisonous. Anyhow, or a Pop-Tart, cancer in a box, right? So like literally foods vibrate. People vibrate overall and down to the tiniest cell. So you wanted just an EMF update. Well, when we started introducing pulsing technology, this is like back in the 1940s, right? Half the books I have on the dangers of EMFs were written before I was born. Like this.
Okay, so wait. So you're telling me that we knew about this technology and how it was going to negatively affect us. Yeah. And I guess what blows my mind is 1940 to 2018, that some people still, when you say EMFs, their response to me is they don't believe it's real. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, that's not real stuff. And I think you hit it on the head when you're talking about that we're all energy. And I equate it to when you're around someone that's an energy sucking vampire and they're negative and they're horrible and you feel like crap and then you can't figure out why it's because of that person. Now we're talking on such a bigger scale because EMFs are everywhere.
Yes. And what's good and what's positive is we can use time, distance, shielding, nutrition to help us. And the stupid things you put on your phones aren't going to do anything. Trust me. But there are bigger things we can do. Now, there isn't much we can do if they allow 5G. That's why we even have physicians they've created an entire movement. The doctors are like, we cannot expose humanity to 5G on top of already what we're dealing with. So this isn't just Karen, who's a crazy nut about electricity. And in my book, I put down Italy, France, Belgium. What are all of the countries around the world doing? They're taking Wi-Fi out of libraries, out of all the daycares, out of hospitals. They're taking it out of the buildings where there's people because it is so dangerous. In China, they wear an apron over the body of a pregnant mother to protect the fetus from all of the EMFs. You find in Sweden and in other countries, they can detect if a child's going to have ADD or ADHD by how many hours the mother spent on the phone. I see it. I scan pregnant women on a regular basis in my consultations, and the women who use their cell phones, their babies have issues, they have issues, like it's just out there. And so, especially for the truckers, I'm always waving and loving truckers, just so everybody knows out there. I'm like a trucking fan. Okay, I have many friends who are truckers. Anyhow, and so they're in an EMF box all day long. They have Wi-Fi. They are on a big motor. I mean, hello, they've got engines, right? They're creating electromagnetic frequencies. So the most important thing for someone driving in a car or in a truck is to limit their use of a cell phone, because if you're in a metal box, you've created a cage where the electricity is 3 to 6 times more powerful in the cell of the body. And you know what they discovered back in 1940 and 1950? And this all became like hush-hush because the war was taking place and people just didn't want to know. But we knew that the people who ran the radar in the military and up in the planes and the directing the planes. Hello.
Oh yeah, that the air traffic control.
air control. Those people who were so exposed to radar, they had radar sickness, and the list is extensive. And they publish, I mean, even the Navy published all this in 1970s that we need to watch out for these risks. Well, when we are exposed to the Wi-Fi, a cancer, if you take a cancer cell and put it in a petri dish, it will grow 1,632 times faster when exposed to pulsing technology.
Wow.
So we have to learn to shield and to ground, and we can do as many of these discussions as you want, because I don't ever put anybody in fear. Everybody knows that's the worst 4-letter F word there ever was, okay, is fear. I'm a anti-fear mongrel.
And a lot of people educate on a fear base too. And I think for many people, how do you think so many different things are run is they try to make you be afraid so they believe what you're saying. But that's why I respect you, Karen, because if it's not a fact, you don't talk about it. And you don't support it. And I think that's what's so great about you. And one of the things that fascinated me about EMFs, and I felt like for truckers or people on the road or people with kids, well, if you're a human with a pulse, pretty much, that fascinates me is that it's getting harder and harder to get away from it. But on the flip side of it, more and more people are understanding that they're being affected by things they can't even figure out. It's like all these mystery diagnoses and why people can't get well, and they're eating all the right foods, they had the surgery, they're sleeping more, whatever, but yet they still are like that because of this thing. Because of this thing, and they're wearing it in their bra and in their front pocket. Men, your prostate, like, and your back hip, and then you have back problems all the time, and you have erectile dysfunction. Yes, I just said that. And you have, you can't get pregnant. You have breast cancer. I mean, Karen, like, you blow my mind when you talk about this stuff. But for truckers or people on the road or people with kids, can you talk about diabetes with this? Because so many people are struggling with this.
Oh yeah, and don't even get me going on diabetes, but anyways, I mean, we're eating diabetes. I'm always like, you can buy kidney stones in the dairy department. You can buy prostate cancer in the meat department of your local grocery store, but you can get diabetes anywhere. You get it in every piece of bread you're eating that's full of aloxin. They don't even tell you that they're giving you exactly what they give to mice when they want to run a trial on a new diabetic drug and they want to kill the beta cells that make insulin. Like, it's in your bread.
I'm going to cut you off here because this is amazing. I hope you guys heard what she just said, because what she's saying is that you are in charge of your health, that you didn't just wake up yesterday with this sickness or with this illness or with this whatever. What she's saying is that, yes, it might be hard. Yes, you might not like it. Yes, you might have to spend a little bit more money, but you are actually in charge of your health. You actually have control. And even though there's EMFs flying everywhere, she's going to talk more about how to protect yourself, but I wanted her to talk about diabetes because a lot of truck drivers are struggling with this. They're losing their license temporarily until their diabetes is under control, and EMFs correlates with that, but so does your diet, and now you can speak more on diabetes.
Yeah, no, I'm so happy to, because I have never worked with anybody, a type 2 who hasn't gotten off all their insulin within weeks. Type 1 have been able to drastically reduce it. And it's like 3 basic things. It's number 1 is sugar. But when I say sugar, you think, oh, I shouldn't drink another energy drink or eat some, more candy. And no, every piece of bread, every corn chip, every tortilla, all of it is sugar. All your dairy is sugar. Hello, lactose, lactase, I mean,
all the yogurts people are eating,
yogurt is toxic. Every yogurt out there is toxic, except for the coconut from Coco Yo. That's the only good one. But anyhow, the rest of them are literally toxic. That's the only raw yogurt there is, and it doesn't have to come from a cow. It's from a coconut, for Pete's sake. But literally, you can reduce insulin needs, and it's quite simple. Let me just like picture in your mind, if you're driving and listening to this, because this is the picture you can paint. Just pretend there is a 2 lines, and in between the lines we have a blood system, a bloodstream. Well, every piece of sugar we eat, so we chew our food, it breaks down into, monosaccharides and into glucose, basically. And so the glucose goes into the bloodstream. So now we have a bunch of, sugar in the blood. So there's a bunch of sugar floating in the blood. 2 things are going to happen. Number 1, Candida is going to go, oh, there's a lot of extra sugar. It's my job as a little yeast to eat up the extra sugar and keep my trucker happy and healthy. So Candida comes out and tries to eat up all the sugar. And it's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because all of us have Candida for that reason. It saves us from all the extra sugar. However, Candida likes sugar, so it overgrows. But while Candida eats the sugar, The insulin need is less. So listen, every piece of glucose that goes into the tube, into your bloodstream, that glucose has to go into a glucose receptor site on a human cell. And you need glucose to have energy. However, you have to have insulin sitting at the cell membrane. So when the glucose comes along, the insulin receptor can open up and absorb the glucose. So every little bit of glucose you ever eat, from a lollipop to a donut to whatever you eat, a Snickers bar to a pizza, I don't care if it's sprouted organic homemade bread from your great grandmother made before she died. Like every bit of it that you eat, you have to have insulin waiting there for you. So the more sugars, the more breads and tortillas and corn chips and soda pops and crap, then the more insulin. So Candida comes along, I would say like Pac-Man.
That's always my visual.
And it eats up the little dots of glucose, but it can't keep up. And so now we're dumping insulin. And then people, then they become insulin resistant. We have people that are leptin resistant, which tells you to stop eating. Like we are really screwed up. And the EMFs all around you are literally messing with your pancreas. And so all the insulin comes from your pancreas.
Okay, so I just want you guys to hear this. Did you hear what she said? That literally the EMFs, the frequency that's coming into your body, is messing with your organs. Like, I feel like this is so important, because when we think of something affecting us, it's a surgeon coming in and removing something, or it's what we ate. It's not physical. We can't grab EMFs. And I think that's what's so hard for people to understand. But if you have this mystery diagnosis, or you have, randomly diabetes and you can't figure out why, or your blood sugars are all over the place when you go into work every day, or your kids go to school and they're out of control, or you're on the road, whatever, this could be why. Now, we are not saying we are doctors. We are not saying we are your medical professional. We are not giving you any sort of prescription or diagnosis. We are simply talking about what happens in the body and what is actually going on outside in the world, and you are affected by it. So it affects our pancreas, Karen. Then what happens?
Well, that's it. I think a lot of people don't realize how much pancreatic cancer there is. And when you were mentioning, as I mentioned, you put the cell phone in your pocket. Okay, yep, you're destroying your sperm. You're causing prostate cancer left and right, but you're also screwing up your colon. So now we can't get look at how much colon cancer is. And because where's your left pocket? Your left phone. Your phone's in your left back pocket. That is right by the descending colon, and boom, you have got colon cancer with it in your left pocket. Right pocket? Okay, great. Then we can screw up your appendix. We can screw up your ascending colon.
So this thing is kind of like a magnet. Like wherever it is, it's like talking on the phone like this, by your ear. It's like literally attracting it to your body, wherever it is.
Women with breast cancer, you can outline literally on the breast where the phone was. It's right. The cancer outlines the phone, and it's over and over. We cannot. And the biggest thing is, it's just to be aware. So now the truckers, when you go in and you're going to use the bathroom, leave your phone in the truck. Like, you don't have to have it on your body all the time. No one's that important. Okay. I don't care who you think you are. I'm a practitioner. I've got 11 kids and 10 grandkids. Like, I feel important, right? Not important enough to put that stupid phone on my pocket. I'm not going to put it on my body. And when it is on my body, it's going to be on airplane mode if I'm walking somewhere. But I think it's just learning that. And that would be another great segment, is let's talk about time, distance, shielding, and nutrition. I call it TDSN. So my third edition of the book, like I said, it's you can't grab it yet because it's still out to the agent now and the publishers get to fight over it. However, we have an entire section on EMF. We have an entire section on the sun. And these are all things that your truckers can literally get a lot of benefit from when they become educated on it. And I'm just here to help. So any way that we can help, because no one's got to live with diabetes. Maybe if you're type 1 from when you're young on, but we can still cut that back. And transients, you can get rid of the transients, which aren't Wi-Fi. Transients is another issue that we even talked about. But transient is like the wiring in your home or in a car, and you can actually filter transients out of your vehicle using capacitors. So a trucker can throw 3 capacitors or whatever it would be, these smaller capacitors, in, and at least get some relief from the transients. Because if you think of transients, everything is pulsing, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, right? So if your pancreas is positive, negative, and then you have a bunch of transients in the building, every time that an electrical pulse of positivity, quote unquote, goes out, all of your negative ions are attracted to it. Then it goes negative and all your positive ions. So it's like you're like ramping up any organ because you have high transients in your home, in your office, in your school. And the studies done on transients are amazing. There are some countries you have to have capacitors in your home or you can't live here. In America, please raise your hand, truck drivers, if you've ever even heard of a capacitor, you know, for your home. So
would this affect their sleep? Because so many truckers and just so many people in general struggle with sleep.
Yes.
And it is, you know, they have the quietest room, they have noise machines on, but they struggle with sleep. And that is one of the things I hear a lot from truck drivers is they really struggle with sleep. So with something like this, capacitors, I'm sure you can Google it and find more information. I know you have some stuff on your blog. And so that would be another way. I'll have information on how to contact Karen at the end of the show. But that would be one way that they can start to reduce some of that exposure, correct?
Absolutely. Oh yeah, and I can help. I think I can help anybody on the planet sleep. I can't even think of anybody I've not been able to help sleep. And it's not me. I'm just like the middleman. I just give you all the information. You apply this, and it's quite a few people. I'm like, turn off all the electricity, turn the breaker off to your bedroom. And that might sound extreme because, oh my gosh, I have my noise machine in this. But you turn off the router, you turn the breaker off, you make sure your neighbor's Wi-Fi isn't all penetrating through your body. I mean, many of you are going to find 40 or 50 of them or 12 when you check in your own room. You know, just put under settings, hit Wi-Fi, and see how many routers you can, you're up to. And I'll tell you, it's dangerous, but it's also disrupts the sleep. And one is the only time your body can heal, between 8 at night and 5 in the morning. It is the only time your body is in assimilation. The only time. So if you stay up until midnight, great, you'll have 4 or 5 hours for your body to actually heal. It's just, and so now we're disrupting that with all the electricity, and there's great ways around it. And on my YouTube channel, on my Facebook channel, Karen's Holistic Health, I did a whole week on sleep. And they're like 5 or 6 minute videos, and there's 5 of them. I talk this fast. There's a ton of information, but that anybody could just log on. I mean, just go to my.
He's the only other person that talks just as fast as I do, and we can keep up with each other, you guys. It's great. We don't bullshit. Let's get right to the good stuff. Let's talk about it. But this is really important because I think for many of us, it's like when we're not feeling well, we think I'm going to go to the doctor. I'm going to get a prescription, or I'm going to like cut out carbs, or I'm going to do whatever, which is really great. But there's this like mysterious thing that's happening, and it's not mysterious, but not enough people are talking about it. I'm hoping that this is eventually be the thing, like when you go to the doctor now, they at least prescribe a probiotic with your gut killing prescription. That maybe one day they might say, hey, turn off your cell phone or EMFs. You might want to look into that. That might not be for 50 years, but it's out there. And I think this is important information, especially for truck drivers, because sleep, diabetes, stress, mental fog and clarity are all issues. Well, it's issue for America, but truck drivers as well, that this might be causing that problem. And guess what? What is a capacitor? It's not that expensive. I have them in my house.
30 bucks.
Yeah. And you can get them on Amazon. You can buy them wherever. If you're not sure, reach out to Karen. If you're not sure about the brand or whatever, she has information on her blog. But these are things that you can fix. And at some point in time, we have to start taking our life and our health back into our hands. We have to stop giving our power away to other people. I don't care if it's your doctor, if it's your friend, if it's your grandmother, if it's your husband, if it's your kids, if it's your school, whatever it is. We have to start realizing that we are in control of our health and our well-being and our mental health. And this is one way that you can start to do that. Protect yourself, protect your family, protect, your friends, because your quality of life matters. And it's about time that you start caring about yourself and taking action. Karen, how can people find more about you?
Sure. Well, Karen's Holistic Health, and that's been the website forever. There's a major update going over this next weekend, but Karen's Holistic Health is there. We're located right off I-15 through Utah. So if anybody ever wanted to stop in for a scan, we've got a great office. We have great staff who help with the scans. I do some of them, but it's just, And I have a lot of videos, and you and I are going to work on some of these together for the Mother Trucker. And we want to do that big retreat in June out in Wisconsin. So, I mean, that would be super fun. So there's plenty. And like I said, and I have free courses. So you can download a PH book for free on my website. You can also take my Cell Talk series, which is very basic. How does a human cell function? And it's free. So you can take that. We're getting our 28 days to a sexier, more joyful you. That's all coming right back. We're just updating that. So there's a lot that's coming on I2H2E. And we are so glad that you're one of the board members there, because that's what the International Institute is really excited to do.
Okay, tell people what I2H2E means again.
So the International Institute of Holistic Health and Education, and there will be free courses that people can take. The 2 courses that'll be up hopefully by April and May that I've been working on for years, Dr. Mom, Dr. Dad, it's a family certification course, and then Holistic Staff certification. Well, either one of those courses, they have the same information for the 3/4 of it, but the Dr. Mom, Dr. Dad, there's not a human being. It should be Dr. Human. Oh my gosh, maybe I should change it to Dr.
Human. I love it. I actually like that even better.
It's not just for mom and dads. Anybody who's a human being can be their own doctor. And we literally give you, and the book I wrote years ago, it's an A to Z guide on how to heal 100 of the top ailments. But we explain how the respiratory works, and then what are the diseases of the respiratory system, how the circulatory system works, how the digestive system, how reproductive system. And we talk about each of the diseases. I call them dis-ease, because I don't believe in disease. There's a dis-ease, and then what to do about it naturally. And I work with medical doctors who are like, okay, and this is what we would do, medically. So if you've tried everything natural, then you might want to go medically. If you've tried medically, you most likely haven't healed, and we can go naturally, So
or maybe you need both. Western medicine isn't awful, but there's a time and a place for everything, and it's about balance. And I think that's one of the things I love about working with you, Karen, is you explain the whys. And that's how I approach the physical body and fitness and wellness from my end, is I need to be explained why. If you can't explain why, 1, you might not be qualified to teach it, but 2, is it viable? Is it actually going to be helping them? And Karen, you really break it down. So if you're interested, because I know a lot of listeners out there are beginning to take more action in their health. They're interested in nutrition. They want to learn more about their body. They're starting to take the initiative themselves. If you're looking for a course, if you're looking to learn more, her Empowered course, her Total Nutrition Counselor course are absolutely, you will never learn anything more than what you learn with her when it comes to that. It is not you got to get it done in 3 weeks. It's a self-paced program. She has a lot of support. I know that because I'm on the board with I2H2E. I see the stuff from the back end. I just can't talk highly enough about you. That for my listeners today, EMFs, Google it, research it. It's real. And look up Karen, look up her YouTube page, look up her Facebook page. She has tons of videos, she has tons of content. But this is an opportunity for you to maybe find a solution that you've been searching for. So now the real work begins, because you and I both know when you go home at night, the choice is yours. Do I stay the victim to my situation? Do I stay sick because it's comfortable and it's familiar and people give me attention then? Or do I say, I'm ready to climb up that mountain? I'm ready. I know it might be hard. I know I might get worse before I get better, but either it's that, I was telling myself, it's either that or I die. When I had an eating disorder, it came to the point in recovery, it was either struggle and get well and people will know what I'm dealing with, or I die. That's pretty much what my options were. And we have to realize that the choice is ours. So Karen, thank you a million times. This information is so invaluable. Again, it's Karen's Holistic Health. If you want to know about our courses, it's I2H2E. Okay, super easy. And you can also find the links in the comments in the videos that will be posted about this episode. Karen, thank you so much. Any last words for listeners when it comes to EMFs?
Yeah. Honestly, you can do this. It's a human cell thing. And when you change the cell context, you change your life. So when you make these changes in the frequency field, you change your health. You make some changes in the food field, you change your outcome. It's just cell contact. So please, please, please register on I2H2E for the free Cell Talk series.
Do it.
You're going to be empowered.
Awesome. Karen, it was awesome. Thank you so much. Listeners, remember, it's always about getting your daily dose of hope, because no matter how hard life gets, you should never lose hope. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you next week.
And you've been listening to A Daily Dose of Hope with Hope Savara. Thanks for tuning in.